Welcome to Behind the Veil. Now, here is your transformational coach, Tammy Hawks.
Good. Okay. Well, my intention for this call is, we only got this little bitty bit of time. But in that small amount of time, I want to, my goal is to get you as much healing within this small period of time as possible. That's my goal. So for you, if you had one intention for this call, something that you would like to fulfill in this call, what would it be?
To feel some kind of peace and to know that maybe everything that I'm going through is going to be worth it somehow in the end, you know?
Okay, good. So peace.
Yes.
Okay, good. I like that. And possibly some clarity by reading your application. Possibly
Yeah.
it sounded like you wanted a lot of clarity as maybe direction in moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Peace, clarity. Okay, good. Okay, so here is what my kind of introduction to this. One is I'm going to take you through certain processes. Are you able to be hands-free with your phone at certain times when we need to be?
I can find somewhere to put it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Another thing is I do a lot of work with the subconscious mind. So there might be times that I'm taking you through processes that your mind kind of comes in and goes, what is this? This is weird. I don't get it. And I want you to kind of just understand that that's just part of the process and kind of go, kind of melt back into, I'm just going with it. Right. Of
Okay.
just like,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
that's just my mind. No big deal. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm kind of just surrendering to the process because a lot of times when I work with the subconscious mind, especially in the beginning, you're not going to get it. It is going to be a different techniques that most people haven't heard of.
Okay.
So we go deep. Now, is there any place that you're not willing to go as far as I just invite you if there is a place that you're not wanting to go? Usually when I ask
Uh-huh.
that question, that's exactly where we end up going during our processing.
Yeah.
So are you
Um,
pretty open there?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, cool. Because either way, you will get that clarity. You are going to feel extremely at peace because you've already declared that that's what you want. So it's happening. And I just want you to be open to allow yourself to go as deep as the healing needs to go in this 45, possibly an hour. Are you good with
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to have you start out by telling me about your certain situation with your husband, how long you've been together, what's been going on, kind of the track record, kind of update me on all that.
Okay. We have been together 5 years, married 4. Um, when he met me, I was a mess and he came in promising a bunch of stuff and I didn't know who he really was. We had actually went to high school together, so I'd known him from elementary up until high school, and then we all went our separate ways. We got married. He had told me he had 2 kids, and I was like, okay. And he said he really didn't have anything to do with them. And I was like, well, my boys are, with me 100% of the time, and he was okay with it. Um, so he ends up losing. We're still just dating at this time. He ends up losing his job, and he was like, I have nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, look, we can try this moving in thing, but I really don't believe in that. So if you really want to be with me and this is what we want to do, I mean, and you love me, we need to get married, because I don't want my kids thinking it's okay for us to just live together and have a relationship in the house. And he was like, okay, great. So he gets a job and he starts working and we end up getting married. And then um, after we got married, I noticed that we had child support letters coming in. And I was like, hey, we're getting 5 letters. What's kind of going on? I didn't open your mail, but I mean, you usually only get one per case. And he was like, I have no idea. So I was like, okay. So I was like, well, I'm going to open them. and it caused a huge fight. And he became physical, and then he ended up just telling me, why I have 5 kids. I just don't have anything to do with the other 3. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. Just, you need to be up front, and we can work on it. You just need to get a job so you can start paying on it. And he was like, well, it's with this girl that we went to school with. And he told me her name, and he was like, had me scared of her. Like, oh, she's going to kick your butt because we're married. So I was afraid of this girl. And then we saw her in Walmart, and he like totally went the other way, and she started talking to me, and she was totally cool with it. And she was like, I don't know why he don't claim my kids. Well, we get home that night, and he loses it, and he really beats the crap out of me. And I was like, over kids? This is ridiculous. What's going on? I don't understand. I mean, it's not my fault you lied. It's not my fault we ran into her at Walmart. What's going on? Where he leaves and he don't come back for a few days. And so I didn't understand why I was cleaning his stuff. And I was like, okay, he's left. I'm going to pack his stuff. I don't know if he's coming back. Well, I'm packing his stuff, and I find hard drugs. And I'm like, what is going on? So I blow his phone up, and he's like, well, I'm not going to ever choose you over that. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go from here? And I'm like, what do you mean, where are we going to go from here? We're married. This is stuff that we should have discussed before we were married. He was like, well, you should have known. And I'm like, I've never been around drugs, so how would I have known? I was like, to me, in my mind, you see people on drugs, they don't eat, they don't sleep. There's telltale signs. He's a big boy. So I was like, none of it's clicking. And so, again, he gets physical, and I was like, it's fine. I'll deal with it. I'll love you through it. When I got married, I didn't just, I loved you for you. Just stay home, and if that's what you're going to do, you need to just stay home so you'll be safe. Just don't do it around me. Don't do it when the kids are home. I'm okay with it. And even though I really wasn't okay with it. So that goes on for about a year. And then he just starts getting more and more physical. He can't hold a job. And so I'd constantly be like, look, this isn't going to work. He's like, well, you told me you'd love me no matter what. You're a hypocrite. You say you're a Christian, but you're judging me, and you're crazy. And I was like, okay. And he'd constantly hide his phone. And I was like, you used to leave your phone here. Are you talking to somebody? Is there somebody else? I was like, what else are you hiding? I mean, because in my mind, if you lied about stupid stuff like having kids, and then it gets to the bigger stuff like your own drugs, there has to be other hidden lies. Well, the police end up getting called. He begs me not to press charges. I wasn't the one that called the cops. The neighbor had, because they heard screaming and they thought he was killing somebody, they said. So we finally get the cops to go away, and he's begging me, I'll change. I love you. I just have a bunch of hurts. I've never known how to love somebody correctly. And he kept telling me I was crazy and that I needed to work on my mental health. And I was like, well, when we got together, because he's my second husband, I was like, that what my first husband put me through. So I was up front with him. I have trust issues. I worry. The slightest bit of change is going to make me question what's going on. And I said, everything, I've been up front with you, and you knew this. And so we go good, and he's going good. He has actually had a job for a few months, but he kept just going like to the bathroom and locking the door. And I was like, you don't ever lock the door. It's, what's going on? So I kept saying, you're smoking again. You're on drugs again, and he was like, no, it's just in your head. You're trying to look for problems. And I was like, so I started believing that it was just in my head, and I was looking for problems. Then one night I think my grandbaby was spending the night, and her bottle dropped under the bed, and I found drugs again. And I was like, what is this? What's going on? And he was like, somehow he convinced me that it wasn't really there. I have no idea how, but he convinced me that I was seeing things, that it wasn't there, that it was in my head, and I was just projecting all my fears on him. So I believed it. He still had a job, so everything was going good. Then, this is years later, my kids are older, my boys are older, and they're tired of me getting beat on. I mean, he'd just lose it. He'd slap me or backhand me, or he'd break the TVs didn't ever understand why he was so angry. By this time, my son's 17, and he had had enough. He had well, the time before this time, he had slapped me, and my son's autistic. My youngest is autistic. Well, he had a seizure, and he had used the bathroom on himself. Well, I'd left because I was like, he's not going to hurt the kids. I'm just going to go for a walk. Well, he ended up hog tying my kid and putting him in the closet in the dark. And so I'm coming back, and I'm hearing a fight. So I'm trying to hurry up and get back because we live in a dead end street, and I had just walked down the street thinking I'd give him time to cool off. Well, now the front door glass screen door busts, and here comes my husband and my 17-year-old fighting, like full on fledged fighting. He's body slamming. He's a big guy. My son's, he's 17. Body slammed him on the ground. I don't have my phone, so we have like 6 neighbors calling the cops. So actually, this time he did get arrested. So while he was in jail, I didn't know. It's my house. He had moved in with me, so everything was mine. He had nothing. Both vehicles were mine. The house was mine. I packed everything up and I left. So at this time, my son had already sworn to the Marines, and we was talking to the recruiter, and he was like, "Look, you can press charges, but that's going to delay your son from going to boot camp. Is that what y'all want to do?" And so I asked, and my son was like, "Mom, yes, I don't care. I'm going to protect you this time." I ended up talking him out of it. I'm like, "Son, just go start your life. You don't have to protect mom no more." Because he had to protect me from his dad growing up, and I was like, "Just go start your life. I'm sorry, I've put you through enough. You've had to grow up, go through stuff." And so he was like, "Just promise me you won't go back. Promise me you won't go back." So I was like, "Okay, we'll move in with my mom. Me and my youngest will move in with my mom. We'll pick our lives back up." Well, lo and behold, they let him out of jail because they're full. He's in my phone. "I'm sorry, staying in jail those few weeks. I got clean. I was on it. It was never in your mind. I want to be the dad, the stepdad, everything you need." So I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to move back in with you. I'm going to stay at my mom's. But we'll see where it goes. I don't know. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of confusion. You put your hands on my kids. I don't know. Me is a different story, but my kids, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level of hurt. That's, me not, trying to choose you over my kids." He's like, "Well, what will it take? I'll go to church. I'll go to, Celebrate Recovery. I'll do whatever it needs to be done." So I was like, "Okay." But he was like, "But you can't forget, you said you'd love me for me, and all this stuff you're wanting me to do isn't me." And so I was like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. If I love you for you, I can't expect you to just be somebody that you're not, I guess." And he was like, "Well, nobody will love you. Just let's work this out. I really do love you. Nobody's gonna love you like I love you." And so I was going back and forth, staying like 4 nights, and then I'd go back to my mom's, and we did that was March for until about August, and then August, I was laying in bed, and he was like, "You got to go. You got to get out of the house. You got to go." And I'm like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "You just got to go." So I was like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to go. I'm going. Oh, fine." So I go. Well, 2 nights later, I get a message request from a girl, and she was like, "Hey, sweet girl. I know, my neighbor, my best friend saw that your work truck was there, and I didn't know that your patrol car, I didn't know that was you. Well, me and him's together, and he's promised me everything. He's met my kids, but he's raging, and he was acting funny, so I put it on the drugs." So I'm like, "Okay." So I replied, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, I can show you messages and all this." And she was like, "He said y'all were divorced and y'all hadn't seen each other for over a year." And I was like, "You just contradicted yourself because you said you've seen my work truck at his house. So and she ended up being an office lady at where he worked. I told her everything, and I was like, it's funny, he told me he was clean, but you're telling me he's on drugs and you had that around your kids. I was like, so I got mad at her and I was like, you're stupid. What kind of mom can that be? He admitted to you he was on drugs and you welcomed him with an open arms. At least I didn't know. And I was already married to the man, trying to justify it all in my head. Well, she was like, well, I'm leaving it alone. So I was okay. So I talked to him. He's like, I was just lonely. I don't know what I was doing. She's 12
Okay.
years younger.
Tanya, I'm gonna cut you off right here.
Yeah.
Because I see this theme. It's very loud and clear, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm gonna put you in a really relaxed state. So I need you to be hands-free for this. Okay.
Okay.
I need you to make your spine as straight as you possibly can. And I need you to find a relaxed position. Is there any way you could get that phone facing you a little bit? Because I have to kind of see you through this process. Okay. Yeah, perfect. And I want you to get your body in the most relaxed state. So keeping the spine straight, I want you to find yourself allowing your body to relax. So find a comfortable spot for your hands. I want you to breathe deeply. I want you to become aware of your breath. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath in, and I want you to hold that breath in, and I want you to allow it to go deeper, deeper, deeper. I want you to see it as a color going deep down to the very bottom of your spine as you inhale in, all the way down to the bottom of your spine. Kind of hold it there. And as you exhale it out, I want you to see it coming up from the base of the spine all the way up and out, right? And as you inhale in, I want you to see it as a relaxing, healing color. It's going to be the first color that you can think of in your mind that's relaxing and calming to you. And I want you to see that color as you breathe in towards the bottom of your spine. So breathe in, and as you exhale out, I want you to see the exhale out as it releasing tension. Releasing all the things that no longer serve you, all resistance, anything that is not good for your body. I want you to see it exiting your body as a color. So I want you to breathe in the color that is calming and feels good to you, feels like healing. And I want you to exhale out the color that might not serve you. And I want you to sort of name these colors so I know the color that feels the best to you. So what is the color first impression that is coming in?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Purple is your healing color. Okay. And as you exhale out, what do you see that color?
Green.
Green. Okay. So I want you to breathe in that purple. And as you breathe in that purple, I want you to notice that it is stretching out to all the cells in your body. That's right. It's moving through your body and allowing every cell of your body to relax, 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 let go, surrender. That's right. Purple is your healing color. Now, I want you to breathe in that purple. And as you exhale out, I want you to create like a bubble of the purple all around your body. That's right. I want you to see it going out as this big purple healing bubble that is literally holding your body. That's right. And I want you to stay connected to this purple color, knowing that it is creating a peace in every cell of your body, a healing within every cell of your body as I take you through this process. And as I take you through this process, know that if any point in time you feel anxious or need to connect back into that peace, I want you to imagine that purple, you in this bubble. That's right. Now, I'm hearing a theme from you, a theme of feeling like it's okay and maybe even normal for someone to physically violate you, to put their hands on you, to hurt you. There is an emotion directly attached to that. And first impression, I want you to point to where you hold this in your body. First impression, there is a place in your body where this emotion is stored. First impression, put your hand on it. That's right. What color is it?
Red.
It's red. That's right. I want you to go all the way into that red. That's right. It's safe. We're going to transmute it. doesn't have to stay. Now, there is a picture directly connected to that red. And this picture is the first memory you have stored of when you felt this emotion. Tell me when that picture pops up on the screen of your mind.
Yes, ma'am.
You got it. Okay, I want you to take me through what's happening in this screen. How old are you?
Young,
How old? First impression.
maybe 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Are you alone or is someone in the room with you?
Someone's in the room.
Who's with you?
My dad
What is he doing?
yelling, telling me I'm not good enough, getting in my face, thumping my nose and my ears.
That's right. Who else is in the room with you?
My sister and my mom.
Your sister and your mom. Okay. Now I'm going to have you go ahead and almost like you could time travel. I want you to pull yourself out of this seat that you're sitting in. I want you in your mind's eye to go ahead and be in the room with your 8 or 9-year-old self, with your mom, with your dad, and with your sister. At this point, I've started to take our guest through a process I use to tap into her subconscious mind and uncover her childhood trauma. This helps me to gain a deeper insight into her experiences and how they have shaped her current relationships. We are now going to the conclusion of the process. This is the new set point. Peace, love, beauty, joy. This is the new set point that you choose. And in your mind's eye, I want you to make a decision. I choose this, knowing that whatever you decide you are, you are. Whatever you decide, whoever you decide to be, it is done. It is complete. Take a deep breath in. Wiggle your toes, come into your body. Bat your eyes open when you're ready, feeling absolutely divine, feeling so much peace, clarity, knowing exactly what you need to do, every step that you get to take from this new place, from this new you that you choose to be, from the new set point. How do you feel?
Good.
What did that feel like? Tell me the points where you felt what.
I think going and kind of just really just coming to see how I got to the point of accepting a lot of stuff, that it was deeper than just I couldn't explain, that it was just what I thought was the normal, and that it never was my fault kind of thing, that, I mean, and that I can think clearly now and know that that's not, not what I'm worth, that's not acceptable kind of thing.
I want you to understand what trauma is. Since you are a spiritual girl, I'm going to explain it biblically. In the Old Testament, it talks about how God says, I will curse you back 7 generations. And what I believe it's talking about is trauma that's actually, modern science says it's tracked on our DNA. So our family patterns that get passed down, right, through the generations until we do this work and change the patterns. And that's what you did. Now, obviously, this is step number 1. And for someone who's experienced what you've experienced over the course of your life, this is just like the very first step. But you have the ability to create the results of healthy relationships when you decide to change the lineage. When I took you back and you saw things from that third eye perspective, I want to know what you saw. What did you see when you looked at that 9-year-old version of yourself? What did you feel?
Unworthy, that I wasn't, that my sister was superior, and I'd always try to compete, that I felt, that I was the low, like the black sheep, just because I was, because I was different, and that not as superior as my sister.
So have you been carrying that feeling your whole life?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have the ability to change your beliefs?
Yes.
Okay. So do you want to continue with that belief that you're inferior?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I want you to decide and declare right now that you're going to denounce that belief out loud. Say it out loud.
I denounce that I'm not superior to my sister. I'm not, yeah.
Yeah. Do you believe that there is a hierarchy, like some people are more worthy than others?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're believing on a core level. But when you think about it in your logical mind, do you believe that that's true, that some people are more worthy than others?
No, that's where I want to get, I just, 42 years of my life, that's what I have always thought, that everybody else was better than me. I had to please them to even get on under their level,
And how's that
or I'd
and
settle.
how's that working out for you?
Not good, because I'd
Yeah.
settle.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine a man putting his hands on me once and being like, okay, so that's okay. We'll just I can't imagine that. I came from an abusive upbringing as well, but I made a decision young that just was not going to fly with me. And so you have to make like, what would you tell your kid? You don't have a daughter, right? You just have two
No, I
sons.
have a daughter, and
Okay.
my daughter suffers from it because she's she's following the same and accepting
Of course, because
the same thing.
of course she is. I could have
Yeah.
told you that because that's the patterns, right? That's why as soon as
Hmm.
you told me that as soon as you started mentioning in very passive ways him putting his hands on you and you were saying it so passively, I knew automatically in that moment that you had seen that growing up.
Hmm.
And then I automatically knew that until the the patterns, they just repeat themselves until someone's brave enough to stand up and say, I am changing this. And that process I took you through, it might have seemed really, really small, but it changes people because we are working on very deep levels of your being to shift your belief system. And if, when I work with someone, I work with them a minimum of 12 weeks. And that's because we go through systematically all the beliefs. And over time, people they have radical transformations. You need to start really allowing yourself to heal by investing time into healing yourself. If you want to see that family lineage change, which
Yeah.
which you totally can. But for your kid's sake, what advice would you give your daughter if she was in your shoes with this relationship in mind?
That her worth's more, that she's worth so much more than she realizes, and that if he can't see that, then it's okay to walk away. My mom didn't support me when I wanted to walk away, but I'd support her and be like, we can do it. You don't have, we're going to get there. We're going to learn that we don't have to have a man to make us happy. You don't have to have a man to make it, to make it in this world. And that she's so much more than what she's believing she is.
Yeah. So if you were being your own best friend, Tanya, like your freaking best friend in the world, what would you do for you in this relationship?
I wouldn't get my friends are mad at me because I won't let him go. I
I'm
wouldn't. I'd do
I'm
the
talking
opposite.
about you being your own best friend. If you made a commitment to you that said, I am going to stand for you before anyone else, what would you do for you?
Support. I'd support and show them, you know, affirm them every day that you're beautiful, you're loved, and that they're not alone. You're not alone. When it starts getting dark, I'd be there no matter what time it was. Kind of.
If you would like to be featured as a guest on our podcast, where you can share your experiences anonymously and receive the support you need, you can apply by clicking on the link in the description. Now back to the podcast. Okay, those things are all beautiful to say. But when your beliefs really change is when you start to take action towards them. If you're saying, Tanya, you're so freaking worthy. You were handpicked to come here to the planet at such a time as this. You are worthy beyond worthy. In fact, you are the very temple of the all that is, of God itself. You are the very temple. of the all that is. You could not be more worthy if you tried. You were born worthy. Who looks at a baby and says, nope, this one's not worthy. It doesn't do anything. It just cries and poops and eats. You're not worthy. Psh, no, you are a worthy, treasured, blessed being. When are you going to treat you like that? When are you going to treat you like that? Like the treasure you are, like the perfect being that you are. When?
From this moment, I'm going to
Okay.
choose.
So then I want you to give yourself actionable steps to back that up. Because until you do, your subconscious mind is going to run that old track. You're not worthy. Everyone else is better than you. You're below everyone else. That old track is going to run until you give it the new program setting. So if I'm believing that I'm worthy, then I'm certainly not going to allow someone to put their hands on me, lie to me, try and convince me that I'm the problem. You see, that this man you're married to, he's very broken. He is very broken, and he's putting his shit on you just like your dad put his shit on you. You are allowing that. Why? Because you don't believe you're worthy of having any better. You have to stop that. So I want to give you some homework. Are you willing?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to write a journal, write in your journal and list out all the ways that if you were being your best friend and if you were loving yourself, that you would do for you. And it could be as little as, for me, it could be as little as, meditating, taking a bath, going on a walk in nature, all these things to nurture myself, all the way up to for you, because you got to take some radical steps to change this behavior, or else I'm afraid that you're not going to live. You're going to allow someone to, what I've noticed with my clients is if there's already been physical violence, it escalates. And she gets smaller and smaller. She hands her power to him and says, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep going. No, no, we're good. We're good. And pretty soon she is, in a near death experience, and he beats her so bad that sometimes she dies and sometimes she barely makes it out. And that's finally the point where she decides to change. But how far are you going to let this go? And not to mention how disgustingly fucking disturbed I am at the fact that he hogtied an autistic boy. I'm just, that makes me it made me want to throw up when I heard that.
Yeah.
That is the most disturbing thing I think I've heard. So if you can't do it for you, do it for your kids.
I am.
Until you can do it for you. Obviously, if I had, if I had the experience of working with you and taking you through these things, we would deal with you first, because, once you heal the self, it branches out to all your relationships. But the clarity, I can't tell you what to think or what to do, but please don't ever let someone put their hands on you. What's your biggest takeaway from this call?
Kind of, I think maybe because I've never actually said everything out loud, but everything that I've allowed out loud. And it's like, wow, that I hear it and then you're saying it back. I've kept it quiet. I'm going to get there and it's not my worth. I have so much more to offer. I have so much more. I can't fix them. I need to fix me, so I can fix my family, and my grandbaby isn't going to allow this, and that my daughter is going to see that mom realized her worth, and now you know, we can walk in that. We don't have to
Oh,
walk.
that's
So
powerful. That's powerful. I love that. Because when you change so my personal experience was, I chose to heal myself first. And when I did that, not only did my marriage transform, it wasn't like yours. I would never, ever, ever give you the advice. I'm not going to give you advice because it's totally up to you. But if someone is in that sort of situation, that severe abuse, that's very severe abuse, I would never be like, work this out. Never. If a woman comes to me and she's like, I want to work with you, help me save my marriage, and this is the abuse that's happening, I'd be like, I'm not working with you if that's what you want to save, because this is just disturbing abuse. And I'm so very proud of you though for doing this, because you're right. Most of the time, people in your position, they live in shame. They 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 cover up the marks. They, lie to everyone, just to cover up because they're covering up their own shame, and then they're covering up his shame. But it's all around this I'm not worthy stuff. And you have a very severe case of it. So it gets to be something that you do not allow anymore for yourself um, to allow this kind of disgusting behavior. And I didn't even get into the severity of how physical it's gotten. I is too much to even touch, right? But if we had the time and we were working together over weeks, we could have gone way deeper. But like I said, I wanted to get you the furthest I could in this short period of time. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. And also, if you did want to continue on and get more help, I do have financing available. But whether it's me, whether it's someone else, you need to start healing these wounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like that information. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you want, we can book a call to talk a little bit more in depth about that and just what it would look like and how we could make it happen. You want to do
Yes, ma'am,
that?
please.
Thank you so much for opening up and being vulnerable.
Thank you.
Right? I think that you just have to really applaud yourself for the work you did, because you did a lot. Speaking of which, um, that process that I took you through, as you could tell, like when you had the tremors and you started twitching, it was literally removing memory from the cells in your body. So it's detoxing, and you're going to need to drink a lot of water for the next 2 days.
Okay.
Try not to have too much caffeine or anything that dehydrates you, because you moved a lot of energy within your body. So water, water,
Okay.
water, water. 2 days, and I look forward to talking to you on Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I could see the difference in your energy, girl.
Yes,
Literally
ma'am. I can
seeing.
feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have a
Thank you.
beautiful day. I'll talk to you on Monday. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.